Okay, so that's us recording. So hi Jane.
Hi Gemma, how you
Nice
doing?
I'm good. Nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you too.
Jane, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your experience with my coaching program. Like why did you think coaching might be for you? What was your sort of stuck state that you came to me last year with?
Sure. And a very good question. So yeah, it was probably early last year, and to be honest, Gemma, it. I suppose I came to you on a bit of a whim because I had never done coaching before. I'd never really considered coaching. It wasn't in any of my goals for 2022 or anything. Um, but I happened to be scrolling, as we all do, and actually it was on Facebook, which I'm not even on really that actively, um, and came across one of your posts around. It was around imposter syndrome, and basically you put quite a lengthy post up around, feelings of self-doubt. Do you question what you're doing? Do you feel inferior? Do you compare? Do you feel out of your depth? And it just resonated with me so much. I remember I was lying in my bed and I was just thinking, this is me. Like, she's just describing me. Um, and at the end, you mentioned about your coaching and the type of coaching that you do. Obviously, shortened version, but I kind of thought, well, do you know what? I just need to do something about the kind of the rut that I felt that I was in at the time.
Hmm.
Um, because that's kind of how I was feeling in my in my job. Um, I I'm in a demanding corporate role. I've got two young kids. We've just done a house renovation. As you know, I was just juggling a lot.
Yeah.
And it just felt that I was kind of just managing, but not really thriving.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've kind of been in that state for a while, and I just didn't know how to get out of it myself. And to be honest, I kind of thought actually I need someone else. I need some expertise or some external opinion to kind of give me a different route because of what I was doing so far wasn't really helping. So, um, yeah, I just bit the bullet and thought, well, what have I got to lose? So, reached out to you. We spoke, and I thought, well, why don't I kind of felt like, well, this is probably what I need to give me a different perspective and just move on and try and progress to somewhere that I am a lot happier
Yeah.
and fulfilled.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember like, the first couple of sessions, I mean, there were tears, weren't there? Like you genuinely felt a bit kind of like as soon as you woke up, there'd be this like inner dialogue of thoughts, this inner voice that cause that sort of anxiety and sort of edginess in your tummy. Like you physically felt really kind of rubbish when we first
Yeah,
met.
most days. And as you know, I'm a glass half full kind of person. I'm most of my friends and all my friends and family would describe me as an optimistic person. Um, I've never suffered from anxiety or anything, but I did start to realize that where my job was concerned, I did just have this low level of anxiety all the time around, um, just expectations. And as you say, it was that daily kind of just feeling in my gut that just didn't feel very satisfying. Um, and yeah, I think at one point I was sort of saying that there just felt like there was a bit of a negativity bubble around me in terms of there was just so many thoughts going on that I was trying to grapple with that it was kind of, hard to see the wood for the trees.
Mm.
And yeah, so uh, and that's not that doesn't really kind of coincide with me as a person. So I just felt that something kind of wasn't right and needed to get a bit of help to try and work my way out of it.
Yeah. And it was interesting, like when we started digging into this, your sort of kind of coping mechanism was to kind of fall into perfectionism, wasn't it? Like you would go into this sort of overdrive, like must have everything overly prepared and perfected so that you could, be prepared for any eventuality that would happen at work. But that
Yeah.
left you utterly exhausted because you'd be up late at night and you've got two little kids to get to bed and get up for in the morning. So you noticed that pattern of behavior that was kind of really holding you back.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, perfectionism, procrastination, and you're right, that over preparing, which it's a wasteful use of time, and I am definitely someone at stage in my life that is time poor at the moment. So any time that I can get back is super valuable. So um yeah, it just felt that a change was needed there because I was wasting all this energy and kind of worry and over preparing and over analyzing,
Mm.
and it wasn't really serving me um to in any way really,
Yeah.
other than kind of making me feel like I had done as much as I could to prepare for a situation.
Yeah. So, what was your sort of experience, having never done coaching before and sort of like throwing yourself into the deep end? What was your experience of my coaching program?
um yeah, so it was all completely new to me. So it was a bit of a journey. It was it probably had it a kind of highs and lows, but for me it was just about, I kind of definitely think that I get a lot out of learning in life. And so for me, this was just a big learning curve, and it was learning about myself. And that's, a, you know, it's going to be pretty valuable for life to know more about how you operate, and also how to get the best out of yourself. So, um, yeah, as you know, yeah, I just found it a really interesting course to go through with you. And for me, it was great because you kind of adapted it for me. As you know, there was things that really clicked with me, and then there was other things that just didn't resonate so well. And what I loved about you, Gemma, is just that you kind of took on board the things that were working for me and that I was, getting more out of, and kind of adapted the course to kind of sway it more towards those things and maybe away from the things that you could see weren't really resonating with me as much,
Mhm.
um, which I was really grateful for. But yeah, I found it really interesting. I'd say I learned something new every week, or every time we chatted, and it just helped me kind of on that journey, learning more about myself, and learning things that now that I look back seem so obvious. I mean, so obvious to the point that I would say these things should be, some of what you teach should be taught in schools, because
Yeah.
this is so valuable, and far more valuable than a lot of other things that you learn when you're younger. But just the basics of reframing your thoughts, and how much you drive how you are feeling and your own emotions, that is all through you can have full control of those. So that for me was just such a massive realization that actually the way that I am feeling is down to how I am thinking, and I am in control of my thoughts, and thoughts are just thoughts. So
Yeah.
why not reframe them in a way that works better for you? And that's been a bit of a game changer.
Yeah.
Seems simple, but it's been
Nobody knows, right? I'm like,
I know.
imagine how different the world would be if everybody knew that you could actually choose your thoughts. You didn't just have to believe everything that your brain offers you.
Absolutely. And it's been really useful as well, because our discussions were mainly around my professional life, but actually I've used so much of what you've taught me, and what I've learned with, in my personal life as well, in terms of how I interact with my husband and my kids, especially how I react to situations, or now try not to react to situations. But it's yeah, so it's so valuable.
Mhm. what would you say, like having been through the program and come out of it the other end, like what's your state now compared to how you were before with the edginess and the anxiety? Like what's the sort of, how are you now? What's your current state?
Yeah, so much better. I was actually just looking at I was looking over my notes the other day, and I came across what I think we went through a session of what I was hoping to get out of this session and the state that I was hoping to be in. And I'd said, basically, I mean, it seemed to me really quite a simple ask, although it seemed like I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but it was to feel calm, it was to feel in control, it was to feel contented. And yeah, I've definitely got to that place. I feel so much more at ease
Mm-hmm.
day to day with in my career, in my professional life. And I just feel more in control. And that was what I was wanting. That was what I was hoping for. And it's knowing that I've got the tools within me to fix a situation or fix how I'm feeling,
Yeah.
um, for the better. So that's just, it's really useful. And I've used it so much day to day. And as you know, it's not, this is, you've told me this enough to know that you need to practice, you need to practice, you need to practice this. I need to do that more. I know that, but I think it's just really useful to know that you can, if you're if you're feeling a certain way, that it's probably down to a thought that you're having, and that you can reframe that thought, and that can serve you better. And it is unbelievable how that can change your mood quite instantaneously.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, it was also that realization that what I'm thinking is not reality. So
Yes.
it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. And that was one of the kind of distorted thinking patterns that I had. But it's yeah, no, I'm in a really good place as a result. And it's I would actually say everyone needs a life mindset coach.
Yeah, I
I tell
agree.
my friends and family, but it's been really useful because I think it's kind of been like, it's definitely something I would do again. Um, because I think even if you're not necessarily in a negative place, it's just you learn so much about yourself and how you can, um, yeah, live a more fulfilled life.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I always like try to talk about, is like I want to work with women who want to go from good to great, like because you were like one of these, like many of my clients, like I kind of feel like I should be happy. I have a loving family, I have a beautiful house, I've got a great job. Why am I not more satisfied or contented? And it's that sort of, that's, you were the perfect client for me to work with, because I'm like, nothing externally needs to change really. It's all your thoughts and feelings and the lens that you see things through, and how liberating and empowering that you are in control of that. Like you were saying before, you can choose better feeling thoughts to see things in a different light.
Yeah, absolutely. You're so right. That lens, that you're only seeing it through that one thing, but when someone opens that up and shows you that there's other ways to view things, then that's a bit of, yeah, it's just a bit of a light bulb moment, and you think, oh, actually, what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking is not necessarily what others see and what is reality. And that just starts to put you in a better direction. But no, you're right. I think even if you are, I was happy. I was just, there was things that were, I was less fulfilled with. And it's amazing what a few tweaks or just a few changes or a few light bulb moments can help you, just, yeah, feel more fulfilled all round as a result.
Mhm. Oh, you were such a great client. I really enjoyed working with you, Jayne, and I'm so delighted to see you so happy and smiley now.
Oh, thanks, Gemma. Well, yeah, well, thank you for giving me I think the big thing was just giving me the tools and techniques that I can use going forward to help me. And so that was just such a huge help for me. And you know, I needed your expertise to guide me there. So thank you.